All right. Now that I've completely embarrassed him, joining me now is the aforementioned Kevin McCarthy with a good smile on his face. Kevin McCarthy, it is my pleasure to endorse you. I don't know why everyone hasn't already done it yet. I frankly don't, for all the reasons I've given, and I'm sure I've forgotten lots of them. But let me just make sure, let me just clarify one thing. You've got these anonymous Republican Senate voices, people who are afraid to speak on the record. They're saying that Kevin McCarthy really favors the Omnibus spending bill and really doesn't want to get down to business right away. What is your unequivocal response to that?
That's a lie. Hell no. Why would you move forward? And you know this better than anybody, Larry. They're going to raise another $100 billion on your baseline. They're going to take away our opportunity to secure the border, to become energy independent. Because when these appropriations bills get passed, remember what's happening here. Leahy and Shelby are writing it. Two senators who won't be there in 15 days. We now have a stronger hand we can play with the Senate and with the administration because we will have the gavel. Do a short-term CR. Put it into the end of January, into February. We're willing to go forward. Larry, one of the best things we were able to do in the country was when it was divided, to lift the ban on selling our oil and gas outside of America. And you know when we did that? We did that in an appropriation process when Obama was president, able to negotiate. We can do that same thing now. But what the senators are using, they're using a few people who say they're not yet decided upon what they're going to do for Speaker. So they're saying, well, Kevin doesn't know if he'll be able to get it done. They're trying to say that. We can get the job done, because I'll promise you, the baseline will be lower. It won't be increasing, cause more inflation. We'll take care of the military, but we'll also make sure our border's secure, make sure we have the ability to have energy in America, all the above. We'll go after making a Parents' Bill of Rights, and yes, we will hold this administration accountable. Why would we do this in a weakened state? Because if they pass the Omni now, where they put a continuing resolution just right up against Christmas to make people take a vote with thousands of pages they cannot read, and then lock that in the next year and go just to a CR, when we have an opportunity not just to curb spending, but to put our policies in place at the same time in a divided government.
Well, some people have said on this point, and I'm one of them, that this Senate leadership, the Republican Senate leadership, is betraying you. I want you to just listen for a little bit. Here's what Senator Marsha Blackburn had to say about giving you a shot at it. She said this on this show on Friday. Please take a listen.
We have not seen the omnibus bill. We are hearing that it is full of earmarks and special interest projects. That is something that I oppose. I think that it would be the good thing to do to let the House Republicans take a swing at this thing, see if they can reset some of these baseline numbers.
I mean, I think that says it all. She said twice, it's time to give Republicans in the House, give it a shot at it, and start changing these baseline numbers. So you are unequivocally, I mean, that's the mission unequivocally. Is that correct?
That is 100% correct. Look, Larry, you negotiated. You've been in the room with me when we tried to negotiate, making sure we kept spending down. What has happened since the Democrats took all power, they have raised spending. Well, now that the voters have spoken and we're going to go into the majority in 15 days, why would you increase it higher? And Marsha Blackburn's correct. You don't even know what the baseline is going to be because the two negotiating it won't tell us. We just know it's somewhere between 90 billion and 130. And once you set that increase to a baseline, you know how difficult that is to decrease. And think of this. We just set a new record in the deficit last month in November. A record high amount, $248 billion for 1 month. In this new fiscal year, we've already spent more than $100 billion just on interest. Why wouldn't that give them enough pause to say, well, why don't we negotiate this when somebody else has the gavel, when somebody else has strength? And we can work with the Senate Republicans and the House Republicans to keep the Democrats in check.
You know, I've talked to some of my pals in the Senate. I've got a lot of good friends in the Senate. And I just keep asking them, why do you want to wait a year? I mean, I can see waiting a couple weeks until the gavel changes January 3rd. Okay, get that, a CR through the middle of January or whatever. I get that. I understand that perfectly well. But why wait a year? Not only will you spend too much money, not only could you probably make a better deal, and shutting down the government may or may not be an option. That's going to be up to you and the GOP. Debt limitations and all the rest of that stuff. The point is, why wait a year? Why not act now? And you know, my whole thing, Kevin, is I want to show a GOP stewardship of the economy. I want to show Americans a prosperity agenda. I want to show them a security agenda. I want to show them a parental agenda, and so forth and so on. Why wait a year? Because all this stuff runs through the federal budget. So you should be able to act now on this.
The voters have acted. Why not give us the ability? Title 42 is going to be lifted on Wednesday, and they're going to wait a year for us to act because you know, Larry, one of our strongest abilities is getting riders inside the appropriations bill that they would have to negotiate with us. The other real problem you're going to find if they move through right now, the Democrats know they're not going to have the power anymore. They're going to put certain riders in this bill that if we end up in a continuing resolution a year from now, it is their policies moving forward, not our policies. So why give them the advantage of spending more money, letting their policies go through, and taking the ability for us to do something on the border and with energy in our very first month? Because the Democrats would have to provide. They would have to give to some of our policies. Let me give you one example. Right after the election, I went to see the president. When he wanted to move the NDAA, I told him they had to lift the mandate on vaccines to our men and women in the military, something we've been fighting for 2 years on. You know what? We got it lifted. We could have even more victories in an appropriation bill that large. Fiscally, we could show the country that Republicans are different than Democrats. We're not going to spend more money. You can't spend more money at home. It's your money we're spending, so why don't we lower it? Why don't we eliminate the waste and the wokeism in this government? In 15 days, we have the gavel to do it.
How's my HR1 open the spigots doing? I had Kathy McMorris Rogers on the show last week. She seemed pretty enthusiastic about it. I said I'd talk to you about it on the air. It's, you know, it sends a chill down my spine every time I do that. But there's something, you don't need to wait a year to start working on reopening the spigots. That's another thing.
We're going to do it right off the bat. And think about what it does. Not only does it make our economy stronger, not only does it put more money into the pockets of all Americans, but from a point of view of geopolitical, it makes us stronger around the world and the world safer. We should have a plan where we're selling our natural gas not just to our allies, but we should have China dependent upon us. The world would be environmentally more sound. American natural gas is 41% cleaner than Russian natural gas. We can control the markets out there about what people want to do. The economy could be stronger. More American jobs would be created. That's why it's going to be HR1, but even more importantly, those are the things we can do when the gavel's held. But not only can we pass that bill and send it to the Senate, we could put part of that legislation into the appropriations process if they gave us the time to negotiate it next month.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not sure the general public knows how important the appropriation process is, the power of the purse. It's in Republican hands. You should be able to start right away. Kevin McCarthy, I say okay for McCarthy. I hope I didn't embarrass you, but I think you've done the Lord's work in recent years. This is not new. You've done it as long as I've known you, and I wish you all the best of luck. Happy holidays, sir.
Thank you, Larry.
You bet.